Well, we are here today at Drury Conservation Area, and it's off of Highway J in Mincy, Missouri, which is Bull Shoals Lake borders to it, but it's the opposite end of the basin from where we were at last week at KDOT. This one's just slightly southwest of that location, and it's a whole nature reserve. It's a two-part conservation area, Drury and Mincy. There's a lot of active wildlife here. There's some active bear caves, a lot of deer. Well, right now, a lot of birds chirping. We have a couple storms over the last couple days. So let's get to some of the points of interest. This isn't the first trailhead in the Drury Conservation Area, and you can see there's several picnic table and campsites set up. They're somewhat maintained. At least they're not allowed to grow over. See this great view over here to the right as the valley goes down and comes up to, it's a very hilly area through here. This trail system goes on for some way. There's supposedly 27 miles of system here. Some of it more wider paths. Some of them are actually, I think, are roads. So let's get a little more of this one, and then we'll go to some of the other points of interest. This one's starting to look. So we're here at the free campsite. It's part of the Mincy Conservation Area, and I believe it's open year round. I didn't see any gates out there, but there's about half a dozen, maybe 8 free camping sites. Some of them can double up. Like this one has 2 fire pits and 2 picnic tables, and they have some bathrooms down there. And it leads straight into the wooded area. I mean, you could literally just be camping and then walk out into the woods if you wanted to do a hiking adventure. It's kind of how this conservation area is. There is some defined trails, but there's a whole lot of just untouched backwoods. Just doing a quick drive through of the free camping ground just to give you an idea of its layout and if anybody wants to stay in it. Now, we have been down here at night a few times, and there is a little bit of partying going on every so often. I'll turn around here real quick. I don't want to drive on the grass. Well, they're not dirty today. It looks like people have cleaned up after themselves. Sometimes it gets pretty trashy down here at these free sites. That guy looks like he's packing it in. Got a couple of fragments here. Rough road a little. I don't see any free hookups like RV or anything. The other campground in K-Dock had a wash station, dump station, and fill. This one at least has a dumpster. That's it. That's the entirety. Like I said, there's only 6 to 8 spots here, and they on a weekend they do get some people down here, but I mean it is free, and I don't know if it's on a map anywhere or a list or registry, but during the week it tends to be pretty empty, kind of skeleton-like, but yeah, obviously, first come, first serve. And there's a target archery range, and I'm excited because we have bows. No firearms, alright. Except for obviously the bow, which is technically a firearm. A lot of people consider it because it's more of a sport, but we don't use any of the fancy gadgets when we do our archery. We use just use the old glove and notch technique. I don't even have a sight on my bow. I do it totally vanilla. So this would be a nice little practice range. We do have them set up, well, where we could do the archery in our backyard, but it's just not the same. And this is one of the many elephant rock formations that are through this area. This one's a little bit of a grouping, but okay. And it looks like the back area is closed today, and that's kind of a long walk to get to there. Back through there on this road, there's anybody who knows the area, there's that leads back to Highway J, or JJ, one of the two. J goes on one side, JJ goes on the other. And then once you pass that, there's a grouping of abandoned mines and like a whole like little town area that was mining. And it's known in the Branson area as Murder Rock. And it's where the bald knobbers used to take and rob people, pull them back there, I guess murder them on the rock or whatnot. I don't know why they would drag them back just for that, but it seems inefficient. But that's what it's known for. And so there's been a lot of paranormal activity through this conservation area. And it is not part of the Drury Mincy Conservation Area. It's actually on private land. And so we tried to get access to it there was a normal trailhead that you could park and go and get to it. And apparently the land has been built up or bought up, and they're going to make a golf course out of it. And I'd like to get back in there before they go and demolish everything, just to expand on the golf courses down here. It's a lot of history to just bulldoze, but I don't know. I've been through it. There's really neat caves. There's mine shafts, but you really don't want to go down in the mine shafts without an excavation or a team or of some sort. They are very deep. There's abandoned ruins of different buildings and different points of interest that I just think should be preserved as history of the Ozarks. And it's not. It's going to be bulldozed in lieu of the cash cow that occurs in Branson area. And I think that's a shame. It's a shame. I think they could make the course around it. I think that would be for the betterment. And maybe some historical society will get a rally cry and keep the area for what it is. But as a result of that, there's been a lot of paranormal activity, a lot of ghost sightings, a lot of unexplained occurrences, and there's a lot of cryptid sightings in this area. I realize those are probably not related to the whole Murder Rock scenario, but I really think that should be preserved. Here's another one of these, I call them elephant rock formations because when I was a kid, we went to this place in eastern Missouri in the Ozarks called Elephant Rock, and it had a lasting impression on me. When you're a kid and you see these formations, they're just titanic in proportion, but still love the rock formations here in this part of the Ozarks. There's a lot of rocky terrain, even on our homeland. The soil's not very deep. Unfortunately, it makes where you really can't farm very well on it, and if we want to grow stuff, we have to do raised boxes. But I still like the rocky terrain. I think it's so neat. And I like sometimes when you have a sloping situation like this, you'll actually get spring water that comes up, runs through the rocks and down. This is so neat. This is still neat. This is the back end of that. It's just like a little, like it's jutting up from the earth as a protective measure. We need to camp here. Just wanted to get another shot of the valley here, just to illustrate how hilly this area is. It gets worse a little more south as you go. This is pretty. I mean, I I'd say about 10 miles north, there's really not many hills at all. It starts flattening out towards Springfield. So this is kind of the edge of the Ozark mountain range. Now this is one of my favorite areas to come to in the whole of the Mincy Conservation Area. But today we have had several days of heavy rain. So the flow of the water is pretty high. Now it's not affecting the side trail here. That's kind of a road, kind of a trail. We'll still be able to get to it. But it's just seeing the water this high is pretty amazing. Let's walk down a little further. And this is off of Gunnison Road. It's the lower part of Mincy, and we're about a stone's throw from the Arkansas border right at this point. And if you go any more south, you're literally in Arkansas, and then the road weaves between Missouri and Arkansas. But on a normal day, this is one of the best places to visit in all of the Ozarks because there's normally rock beds here, and you can find some really good rocks. We have found fossil formations. I cannot believe how deep it is. I don't mind if you fall in, but it's a new camera. But just the sheer volume of water. Now this outlets into Bull Shoals Lake, and we actually filmed where this outlets to on one of our previous videos for KDOT. I was hoping to get some shots of the rock while we were down here, but I mean, this is and in the summertime, if you really want a good event, you can hike this. I don't know what they classify it as. I know it's not a river, but it's looking like one today. Normally it's just a little stream, but you can hike the entirety of this. This spans for about 2 miles from this point out to Bull Shoals, and it is fun because if it's 95 degrees out, you can just plop your butt down in the water and cool off. Man, yeah, I literally cannot believe that this is about 3 foot higher, possibly 4 foot higher than normal for this area. Just the sheer, and it is not, it stopped raining last night, probably about midnight. So this has probably, obviously been constantly flowing since then. And I'm almost afraid to walk down to our stream on our land because it might look the same. Because our normal stream that runs through the back land is about a foot to foot and a half, sometimes 2 foot on the average, kind of like here. So wow, yeah, because I could hear it from the top of the land. I'm too lazy to walk down there because it's all wet and slick right now. But yeah, I'd bet it probably. I don't know. It's not going to be this wide, obviously, but it'll. But it having 3 foot is actually pretty impressive. This is one of the ultra primitive sites that you could actually group rent. You kind of pan around in here. And I've seen other people rent some of the other sites and have like a group camping area. This one doesn't look very kept, but I mean, it's still early in the year, so it could be for out of the season still, but it's starting to get warm, so it's camping season in my opinion. So we found this little municipal park, and it looks like some kind of rodeo pen. Not sure. There's a couple picnic tables, some pavilions. This is real close to that conservation area, so if you plan on going to the conservation area, if you don't want to camp or don't want to have a picnic in the park, then you have this as an option. There's some swing sets. I might get out and play in those. A slide, a stegosaurus, and there's some water tap there. It's a nice little barbecue place here. And for some odd reason, there's sheep. Not sure why. I'm sure they go with the municipal park. Obviously, there's some bovine across the street, but those are fenced in and makes sense. But it looks like park hours are 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. and it's the Mincy Community Park.